What up? What up? Let's talk. We lit. We live. Versus Bud Crawford. Who wins? What up, H? What up, H? Yeah, I'm trying to find out how I copy this shit, bro. Yeah, what up, my guy, my G, my broski? Yeah, T on some nut shit. He doing it the wrong way, bro. I copy this shit. Try and get the link. Yeah, I'm trying to invite niggas. I'm trying to put this shit in the motherfucking joint. Yeah, H, that nigga on some crumb shit. T on some straight crumb shit, yo. The way how he sticking shit, it's crazy. I'm drinking some motherfucking coffee right now at Colombian. Yeah, I'm trying to find this link so I can get y'all in this joint. Restream also. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, the T on some nut shit. He doing anything to secure a fight. And they're trying to cover it up talking about that liquor. Like, nah, nigga, we heard what you said, bro. You doing shit on purpose. You doing shit on purpose. I'm gonna be real. Gary Antoine Russell, I think he don't got to fight. So if I was him, punch on that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Punch on him. Especially at 140, punch on him. Or not Frank Martin and Tio will be a great fight. Frank Martin come up there and Frank Martin say he campaigning at 140. Frank Martin would be a great fight for motherfucker Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? Because somebody really got to punch on him. You know, because he doing too much. Like, well, you can't cover that shit up for what you say. You doing too much. That nigga doing way too much for himself. He did. Like, I don't be knowing what type time that nigga be on. Yeah. Yeah, that shit in the chats now, y'all. That shit in the chats. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something. It's in the chat. You know what I mean? We gotta get it though, man. Boxing, man. Canelo and motherfucking Bud. You know, it's gonna be one of them ones to me. You know, and if I was, I'm gonna be real. If Bud got a young boy right now that, like somebody in a camp that's campaigning at 140, they need to put the pause on T.O. Somebody really got to do that shit or not. But what Bud should do is invite T.O. in for sparring, since T.O. went to sparring, invite him in for sparring for his Canelo camp, and punch on the motherfucker. He did punch right on him. Real rap. Somebody need to whip his ass. Or not, if they gonna leave it up to Boots, T.O. versus Boots is a great fight. We just heard him say he when he came in, he was light in the Barbosa fight. He was at 146. So he can make 147 easy, and it'd be a great fight for boxing. It might look like Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence, but the Tio gonna come fight though. But I like Mikey. I love Mikey. I love the Mikey Garcia. But somebody got to put pause on that though. Somebody really got to put pause on that though, because he's doing too much. That'd be a good fight though. Tio and Boots would be a good fight. I was the other day when I was on there, I heard OG talking about Tio Boots is nah, nigga. That's a great fight. That's a great fight. I heard I was on there. I was on the live listening to you when you were snapping on him. Like nah, nigga. That's a great fight. Like that's what fighters supposed to do so they can build legacy. Is move up in weight. What the fuck? You see, Pacquiao went through 8 different weight classes. Durant did the same thing. Like hey, these people be tripping. Niggas just don't really be knowing about boxing. You feel me? We know because we see the shit. We know what make great fighters, and that fade to be one of the ones, man. It'll be a lit fight. You know what I mean? It'd be definitely a lit fight because Boots gonna go on. He's gonna attack. He's gonna attack, especially because all that shit Teal talking. He doing too much. Teal doing way too much. And it's a big fight. That shit is a big fight. I don't know what other people be talking about. That's a big fight. Tio is a champion. He's a champion. In my eyes, he's an undisputed champ, 2-time lineal, but when he fought Loma, he fought for undisputed. And that's what I tell people. He fought for undisputed. And people be like, but Loma was elevated to super. Well, in 2022, when Stanley Onis became champion, Bud was elevated to super champ. So when he fought Spence, Bud had the super, and he still became undisputed. So in my eyes, Tio undisputed. It'd be a great fight because of Tio accomplishments, and Tio ain't a bum. He just talk disrespectful shit. You know what I mean, and racist and make really real racist slurs and racist comments just to try to get a fight. Fuck what a person say. He talking about Bud Crawford said if I call him a nigger and if I do this, well, bro, you saying the ER, nigga. Like we all niggas at the end of the day, but bro, you saying the ER, you saying it the wrong way. You saying it the KKK way, nigga. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, you tripping. And motherfuckers ain't saying, calling them out their name like that. Now you go out there, like, you call a nigga out his name, go to every fight, start something to make good publicity around it, even if it's bad publicity. But slurs in this era is wrong. This generation soft as shit. So you just can't come off spitting it how the fuck you spitting it with that AR situation. Like, I don't know, man. He doing too much. He doing way too much. He doing way too much, man. No, but Devin Haney there. Devin Haney is right there. Devin Haney and T.O. be a good fight. But Dev ain't gonna do that. So T.O. went to Boots. Give him Boots. You feel me? I'd rather see Boots fight T.O. than fight his motherfucking mandatory for the WBA. You feel me? The mandatory for the WBA, you make him and Rolly fight. Because he's the mandatory for the WBA. Now Rolly got the WBA. So you make that motherfucker. Hey, that nigga Russian? Boots mandatory for the WBA that fought on his card. That nigga Russian or something, Ukraine, whatever the fuck he is. Him and Rolly should fight. You know what I mean? Him and Rolly should fight. And let Boots and T.O. get it off. And the winner out of them two events face each other. It'd be like the WBA motherfucking a tournament. But Boots already champ. He's world champ. Elevated super and Rolly got the regular. So it all makes sense. It all makes sense. But this Canelo Bud fight is very interesting right now. The reason I say that right now because uh with William Skull, people know Cubans. You know what I mean, William Skull probably you know paid was paid to do that shit. I know, Yeah, Uzbekistan. Yeah, the Uzbekistan nigga. Him and Brody should fight. I mean, yeah, him and Brody should fight. If Tio fight Boots, you know, they give him his opportunity at a championship fight because he's been the mandatory some quite time right now. I guess. You know, he was standing on his mandatory, but he ended up unifying. But you feel me? But yeah, Pacquiao Barrios, I don't know, this shit crazy, man. Pac-Man gonna get it. Pac-Man gonna knock him out. Manny still got it. So it's like, I don't know, like this shit crazy, man. Cause I'm gonna be real. I was thinking the other day, H. I'm like, damn. I remember back then before Rolly fought the old head Barroso, he wanted to move up and fight Spence. So in my head, I'm thinking, I said, damn, imagine Spence's first comeback fight be against Rolly for a championship fight. And now PBC got the belt. Don't Tank got the WBA? If I'm not mistaken, Tank might try to get that rematch at 147 and just to catch a title at 147 and say he did it at. Yeah, I got Manny all day. I got Manny all day. I got Manny all day. You know, Brian Norman. Well, me personally, I think he's making the wrong move. He doing the Stephen Fulton. He doing the Scooter Pride shit. You know, that Philly Pride. But you know, he down there in Georgia. You know, every nigga. You know, all of us in every hood. You know, which they call ghetto in the trenches of every city. You know, we all got that same mentality. Our pride. We let our pride get in the way, man. And I think Brian Norman is gonna go to Japan and make the same mistake Scooter made. And what I mean by that is he's gonna go over there and take like you know, steroids legal over there in Japan, bro. So you better go over there and take steroid shots. So you better tell Victor Conte boost you up because that shit gonna get dark over there for you. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, you know, they want to try and rob him. You know, I watch a lot of people hit me up. It was like, yo, man, you seen Turkey? Like, you seen Turkey holding Bud head? Canelo can't go the distance with him. It's going to be a robbery. I'm like, bro, listen, not for nothing. You know, me, I always shit on Bud resume because of top rank. I mean, I don't shit on Bud resume because of Bud. I shit on Bud resume because the top rank ain't never believed in him. And he kept proving them wrong. And every time he proved them wrong, he showed them that he belonged as a pay-per-view star. But you know what top rank do to their fighters, you know, they treat them wrong. You know, they get $50 million a fight and end up giving their fighter $1 million or $5 million. And that's wrong. To me, that's wrong. I understand that's their promoter, but at least for PVC and them niggas eating as a brand. You understand? And what I understand what Turkey doing, just straight coming in and just hitting the fighters off. Still giving a percentage to the fighter advisors and promotional company, but he hitting the fighters. I mean, he hitting the fighters off. But then you see the sad shit is that these fighters don't put on great performances, and you be like, damn, y'all niggas just getting money. But another key thing is they already have a fight secured. You feel me? And that should just be crazy. You know, that should just be crazy. That should just be crazy. And so far, you know, 20 off with Diego Pacheco and Steve Nelson put on a great performance. That shit was a banger. Then after that, Morel and Benavidez, a banger. Know what I mean? Then we end up getting remember the February 22nd card with Virgil and Madrimov. That shit was a banger, bro. That shit was a banger. We got some bangers. Know what I mean? Then we got a lot of fights of the year candidates up. You know, and just for Devin Haney, uh, 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 you know, William Skull just doing the Haney, and even the Ryan fight. Turkey went to the corner and just told him, yo, throw more jabs. If we see you throwing more jabs, you're going to make sure you secure the fight. But at the end of the day, the fight was already signed. So Rolly just exposed with or without Ryan winning or losing, the fight's still going to happen. And that's what happened, you know? But me personally, what I think is, you know, Rolly has Ryan number because Rolly even stated it. Rolly has Ryan number. Ryan and Devin. Ryan got Devin number, but you know sometimes it be up and up. Shakur, Tio, Keyshawn, Frank Martin, Floyd Schofield, all of them, and that they all have each other number, but Tank Davis has all of their numbers. And why we say that? Because it's just all about sparring. They all spar each other. They all see each other. They all know each other. So that's why Rolly said, "I know Ryan. I know you more than you know yourself." And you gotta do pay attention. Rolly never dropped that right. He never dropped that right. And when we watch every sparring clip, the 2 times they sparred, it looked just like the fight. Even when we watch Devin and Ryan, it looked just like the fight. You know, but this generation of fighters, they soft, man. These motherfuckers soft. They soft. They always trying to compare somebody to somebody else. You can't compare nobody to Mayweather. There's only one Mayweather. I watch a lot of people say Mayweather was one of the best defensive fighters ever. But me personally, I'm always say Sweet Pea. Know what I mean? Mayweather ain't do the shit Sweet Pea did. Like, you couldn't hit Sweet Pea. Know what I mean? Mayweather in that Philly shell, shit. George Benson, the nigga from Philly who created the Philly shell, did it way better. And he ain't do it in a half a man. He did it box wise, and you couldn't touch him. You feel me? But me personally, just my my facts to my story is I like the Sweet Pea better. I thought Sweet Pea, like, bro, he'd beat your ass from your head to your ankles to your ankles to your head. And Sweet Pea he just was something different, yo. He was something different. But everybody is entitled to their own facts, which other people call it opinion, but you can't tell a person that's his opinion when that's his facts. You know what I mean? That's what I tell a person. Like, a third party say, me and you, your opinion is your opinion, my nigga, your facts is your facts, my facts is my facts. Because at the end of the day, other people still going to agree with us, but we see certain fighters or when certain shit happens. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real and being honest like that. James Tony too. Yeah, yo, James Tony too. Can't take that away from Tony. Tony was something different. Tony shit was nice, and people don't know that. Tony gave Floyd the game. I watched the old interview where both of them stated that shit. Floyd came in the camp and shit, and he wanted to learn, the Philly show. Who's the best person to get it from at that time? The dog itself, the dog itself. You feel me? Like I tell people, like, when we was growing up, like that shit was different, man. Boxing was different. That shit was like really lit. Like it was really that. Now, man, it was really that. And we watch. They build you up once you become a champion. They hit you off the pay per view status. They shooting you to the moon. Hey, Yoda, I'm gonna put that shit up again. See, can you hit that motherfucking link so y'all can hop up in this joint? Yeah, I don't know. It's my first time on Restream. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I gotta learn this shit. You know what I mean? I gotta learn this joint. You know what would have been a lit fight back then? James Tony and Bernard Hopkins. What? 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 Bruce Lee stance? Yeah, the half a man stance. The half a man. The half a man Bruce Lee stance was the half a man. Because remember, the creator of the Philly show, George Benson, he just stayed in the box stance. He ain't do the Bruce Lee stance because he was before Bruce Lee's time. So he stayed in the box stance. You feel me? Which is easy to get knocked out, but he's always stayed on the ropes so you couldn't hit him. You know what I mean? But when James, Tony, and all of them came, they put that half a man stance to it, and they made that shit look good. But on top of that, James Tony, like he'll do the Philly shell and mix it in with the Detroit shell too. That's why I like it. When people call it the cross guard, but the Detroit shell, that shit was something different, man. Joe Frazier used to do it a lot. They call it cross guard, but I always called it the Detroit shell because that's what it was labeled. You had the Philly shell and the Detroit shell, which is the cross guard. But when James Tony and the rest of them added the half of the Bruce Lee stance, correct, the Bruce Lee stance, which is a half a man, that shit was over. And it just Mayweather just took it to a different level. But I'm gonna say James Tony way was better. You know what I mean? Because it was more action packed. You feel me? And it was really hard to hit that boy. You know, that's why back then we had this coach called Padman. Padman was a big coach. You seen him on Creed, but a lot of people know who Padman is. And Padman, just being in the streets, doing what he do. You know what it is, how the back in the day was. Know what I mean? But still training us youngers and showing us certain things and how to put it together. You know, and, we went to neighborhood gyms and thinking we gonna do pad work or these niggas gonna see if we can fight. Man, we in that motherfucker doing footwork and learning the rules for 6 months. Be like, damn dog. Well, he be like, yo, you know how to dance real good, then you just get the footwork. And we like, man, back, we kids, we too shy. We scared to dance. We too shy, like. You know what I mean? That's why we used to stand on the wall and just get wallies and shit, be cheesing like a motherfucker, like getting a wally and shit. So those those the motherfucking principles we went through and we had to learn. And that's why I said this generation now, a motherfucker can just go straight to the gym and he already going pad work. And he don't even know the basics. You feel me? Don't know nothing. Don't know nothing. You know? And the crazy thing is these trainers that really been training, they know the rules. They know the rules, but they just trying to skip the assignment and just go from elementary to high school. You know what I mean? They want to go from elementary to high school, from the first to the ninth. They want to say fuck seventh grade all throughout the eighth grade. Fuck middle school, fuck all that. They going from the first to the ninth. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, you got to put it together right. You got to put it together right. Especially, and that's the key thing is, man, as long as you know how to fight real good and you got pep in your step, like, you can create a career at any time. But the key thing I tell people about the amateurs, the few things you learn in the amateurs, right? You learn how to You're gonna learn how it feels to get robbed in a fight. You're gonna learn how it feels. You're gonna learn how it feels to go in another person's territory and learning that you gotta get the knockout and you can't leave it to the judges. You're gonna learn certain shit, so that's why you learn it. Top five lyricists. Uh, yeah, that's good. Uh, Black Thought, journalist, me, and I myself. I'm number three. Uh, Beans and Young Chris. That's the five. Cause I'm nice. You heard me, yo? I'm nice. Niggas, I'm nice. I got some shit for niggas. You know what I mean, I got some shit for niggas. Even when I'm talking track. All this fucking Yola. All this fucking Yola, Mr. Cocaine Cowboy, bitch, I'm serving Yola, put a hole in your medulla. I'm the shooter that'll shoot you. Right before I drop it, water clear like Bermuda. Finger trigger itching, watch that bullet go through you. Life of a crime lord, young niggas save it. If you ever place an order, then your ass better pay it. Wish you niggas well, see that chain be fugazi. Short one, OKD, bitch, pay me. Live and you learn, but this shit is, I said live and you learn, but this shit is voluntary. Young sharpshooter from the corner, Jason Terry. Lost 1-0 Westbrook and get scary. And that's some old shit. That's 2009 shit. You know what I mean? Like half of the songs I've been dropping now is like from 2009. Like all right, in 2000, in 2020, like during COVID time, I dropped 62 grams, the EP, hosted by DJ Weird Nasty. That's new. For Life is new. Bending is new. On My Soul, and Hold Up, uh, Emoji. Those songs are new. The joint I did with my man Tone, oh 08 Weezy. Yeah. I'm gonna put Beans over Cash because I was thinking about Cash. I was thinking about him. No, but if I take myself out of the equation, I'm gonna put Cash there. You know, but I put myself in it, so I ain't gonna. I'm fuck Cash. You know what I mean? But I put Cash in that joint. If I take myself out, it's gonna be Black Thought, Journalist, Beans, Chris, and Cash. You know what I mean? Feel me? Because Cass was a monster. Still is, but you know, he ain't like, I'm gonna keep it real. After the car accident, I don't know what the fuck happened to my man. I mean, but before that, that's why I always thought niggas set that car accident up. That nigga was, he was catching it. He was starting to catch it. You know, the first album people love, but that second album, before the car accident, that second album, niggas heard him catching that shit. Catching. And he was gonna be a problem. And niggas slowed his motion, man. Niggas slowed his motion. They did that shit on purpose. You know, you ask me, I'm gonna tell you they did that shit on purpose, the cat. They did that shit on purpose. He was gonna push it to a whole nother level because he was catching. He was catching how to make the songs, how to do the hooks, and all that shit. You listen to that second album hit. That second album hit. You know, they did him dirty, man. They did my guy dirty. But if he would have, if Cass would have pushed ad, oh man, this shit would have been more murderous. You know what I mean? Because OBH, like the City Wave, that shit was crazy. No, I know he my homies. You know what I mean? Couple niggas like my homies. You know, I was messing with distro kids, but I'm about to go through TuneCore. I had a TuneCore account, but like my distro kids, I put everything up on there. Well, I took everything down because they try to play me. You know, they try to make me play for another package that I ain't want because they was burning me for my money from TikTok. I had over 40 million views on TikTok, like on my songs, and it wasn't paying me. So like I got one album still up there, like on the Legacy Joan, which is Get It or Die. You know, but all my other shit I took off, like the Black Carpet event, 62 grams, all these other singles I took off. I took off Distro Kids. You know what I mean? So I'm planning on going over to TuneCore. I'm really trying to get on JPay. So I want to know through TuneCore through JPay. But I was going through these other people about JPay, so I might fuck with them and just give them, I think it was like 300 or 600 to put my shit on there. You know? Because, you know, the jails called me. They were like, yo, you got to get your shit up on this joint, man. You know, we be fiending for that shit. You know? They don't talk like you. You know, you got all these niggas on some other shit. Nigga, like, you represent the Badlands. Like, nigga, you talk Philadelphia. You know, which the Badlands, y'all call, like, you know what I mean? You got niggas that ain't really from here. You know, they call it the Avenue, which is Kensington Ave. Kensington is just Avenue. It start from front in York, or this York Street. This front street and Kensington turn. You know what I mean? And it goes all the way up. You know, Badlands is the west side of Kensington. I mean, the west side of Kensington is Badlands, the whole Fair Hill section. You know? And then when you cross over the other side of Kensington, it's called it's Frankfurt, but it's Jewtown section. Then Jewtown to Frankfurt. It's Jewtown, then Port Richmond. In Port Richmond, Frankfurt, it goes wide all the way up towards, you know, Frankfurt County. You know, if people know anything about the city of Philadelphia, you know, I'm really out here. I've been out here feeling lane for real. You just got a lot of new people that come out here that probably been down here for like 5 to 7 years, and what y'all see, y'all think is real, but don't even know the story behind half of these niggas. Half of these niggas got racks behind them. And they know it. They know they ain't gonna be a rat. But they still fuck with it. But y'all niggas will look at these niggas and think they can't. These niggas can't fight. These niggas can't do none of that shit, bro. They go in jail, get treated. Then half of these niggas go to the hole. Nah, I mean, with really PC. You know, because they beef too much and they got beef in the streets. And they know the reason they doing that because they know when they go to jail, they going straight to PC. You know what I mean? And niggas just be arguing through the door. If not, they'll put the niggas on quarantine, and the quarantine niggas get ride for 8 hours out because the PC nigga on it. You know what I mean? I'm just giving y'all a game how this shit is. You know what I mean? Serious shit. I let an informant nigga do me wrong. See that shit? Got that shit right on my joint. Let the informant nigga do me wrong. Nigga line me the fuck up on some corny shit. You know what I mean? And I'm working this shit. Crazy. This shit crazy how they target niggas, bro. I just got off papers. My adult life, I gave these niggas 17 years in my adult life, bro. I got off December 6th of 2020 during COVID time, December 6th. From January of 2003 to December 6th 2020. That was my whole adult life I gave. I mean, 17 fucking years. Been free for 3.5 years. But from 2017 on up, even when I was on a run, when I came home in 2013 from upstate in 2014, I ended up going on a run. County POs and some nut shit. Nah, they took him out, man. They took him out. Remember, they used to have a boxing in the jail, especially upstate. Niggas getting punched on. That shit used to be live. They took that shit out. They took that shit out. They should have kept that shit up there. They should have kept that shit up there. But that's what the Undisputed movie was based about. It was based about the ball Jeff Gant, if I'm not mistaken. And one of these fighters went to jail. I thought it was Bernard, you know, and they made that shit about him. But yeah, I let the nigga trick me out of my position for no reason. But I'm innocent though. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm still trying to figure out, yo, how the fuck I get locked up. I ain't selling no drugs and no I don't even know y'all nigga. I'm at work. Shit don't make sense. Shit don't make sense. Still trying to figure out, bro. The lies these people make and tell, man. Yeah, I got my son. I need some advice. No, my son got a surgery on his ACL and shit. You know, he was in an amateur fight, championship fight. You know, when his knee popped out. So at the time, I ended up catching this case. You know, I came home and shit. You know, during the time he was going to get a surgery. Me personally, I would have told him not to get a surgery. But I want to get some advice for anybody that had, you know, because I know a lot of basketball players get ACL tears and they get surgeries. I just need some good advice so I can help my son take his swelling down, so you know he can be have more comfort in the ring. You know, he spar all the time, but you know it gets swollen. So I need some type of advice or the best things so I can give to my son. So certain exercises he can do. He go through therapy and everything, but shit still happen. And me personally, you know, I keep it real. You know, I'm a live nigga. You know, growing up, and a lot of us, you know, when we was growing up, we was always heard once you get a surgery, it's over. You ain't gonna never be the same. No, but we got to live through that pain and still build comfort in it to get used to it. So that's why I asked y'all what's the best thing right now to go. Like I tell him, and I say play basketball. That's the only thing I can tell you. You know, you standing on your shit all day. So the best thing to do is play basketball. But when you play basketball, it helps you. Why? Because whatever foot you're going to step on, that shit pivot. You can't move it. All you can do is turn around on it and do certain things. Yeah, that's the only advice I can give. And rice, I tell rice, you know, rest, ice, compression, you know, and evaluation, go exercise. But I told him that's the only shit I know. Or put a raw piece of cabbage on your knee. You feel me? Yeah, this Kissing Jada podcast, that shit crazy. Hopefully it be like, you know, the conversation was cool, but you know, it's best to have a podcast. You just raw shit, real shit, not what everybody else is doing. You know? That's why I feel with this the Canelo situation, what I was talking about is like bro, there's no excuses. Like we already knew, like we see it with the Laura fight. So you are like you picked Skull. You could have picked Benavidez, bro. We just could have had the Crawford fight early. I mean, fact, that shit was crazy. You know, that shit was crazy. And a lot of people like this is what I dislike though. Like, people like, oh, we know Bud a better box. Listen, Bud is not gonna box. Bud is a dog. Like he wanted to feel your punches. Now you gotta feel his punches. Now I mean, like that's the wrong concept niggas got about Bud. Like Bud not gonna box you. He not moving around the ring. Like he don't box. He don't box. He like to get hit. Like people, they gotta go back and watch that nigga fights. He like to get hit. He's a brawler. He's a counter puncher. Know what I mean? You know, a nigga, oh, he's Bud is a counter boxer. Like, no, he's a fucking counter puncher. He's just a smart counter puncher that bob and weave. You know what I mean? Like he's not running around the ring, jabbing, stuff. He's not going at it. He's going for you. Or I felt your shit. Now you gotta feel mine. Oh, I hurted you. Dog time. You know what I mean, all dog shit. All dog shit. And that's what's gonna make the fight interesting. What people gotta understand is Canelo fought heavy hitters. Triple G. Now people always bring Triple G up. Fuck yeah. And Billy is mandatory. That's what I'm saying. And Billy Canelo mandatory. WBC wise was David Benavidez. WBA was the that I know of. WBA, IBF, and Billy is ranked number one and number two. Because all full body sanctions and Billy is ranked. But at 168, Benavidez was Canelo mandatory for like, bro, 4 fucking years. You know what I mean? But and Billy been there, and Billy been there. Canelo, instead of Williams Cole, if he wouldn't have gave us the Billy fight, he could have gave us the motherfucker. What's this guy? Diego Pacheco. You could have fought Diego Pacheco. I mean, he's still green because Diego Pacheco about to fight Trevor McCumbee, and I'm telling y'all, Trevor McCumbee is the Rolly Romero at 168. That motherfucker hit hard as shit. You see when he punched Caleb Plant in the arm, that nigga flew across the ring. That shit was a knockdown. That shit was a knockdown. That shit was like me throwing this lighter like that. That's how Caleb Plant flew. I was like, what the fuck? That nigga flew across the ring, yo. And McCumbee got robbed for some knockdowns in that fight. And Plant, my man, but Plant, he finished it off and he did his thing. You feel me? That's why I said, like, if Plant was to go at Canelo now, I got Plant over Canelo. Because Breadman tightened up what he needed, and that's that second one. Because when you watch Plant versus Benavidez and Canelo, the first 6, 7 rounds he was winning. So imagine if he had his second one like how he do now, that shit'd be over. That shit'd be over. That shit'd be over. But and Billy one of the ones. But I heard him Billy about to fight somebody, man. Heard he about to fight somebody, man. Or not Canelo could have got the Cuban guy, my man H fighter, Iglesias and shit, Estrada. That would have been a great fight. That would have been better than the Williams Gold fight because he's coming. He's coming. But at the end of the day, Williams Gold don't really fight like that though. No, he move around lateral movement, but he liked the exchange more. It was like because he was laughing at the situation, so it was like, nigga, they paid me to do this. That's what I felt. You know what I mean? But Canelo gonna blame the knee surgery and shit. But 168 got some hitters, man. That shit got some hitters. That shit got some hitters. And Charlo moving up there right now. That shit got some hitters. And Caleb Plant got a tough opponent ahead of him too. Like I tell people, man, like you got some hitters, man. These niggas is fighting some hitters. Man. And Billy at his promotion, I the Tiger, like the guy Steve Claggett that Tio was fighting, I like him a lot because his losses is some losses just was robberies. It's just right, just like the guy Nakatelli, that Shakur fight and now Abdullah about to fight. When you watch Shakur and Nakatelli, watch it very well. Nakatelli be getting robbed in his fights, man, and that be the sad part, and that's what they doing to Tevin Farmer right now. We watched Tevin Farmer go to Top Rank, expose Raymond, right? He exposed him. Who really won that fight? Tevin Farmer won that fight. The first 6 to 8. It was an 8-4 round. It was an 8-4 fight. Or you could say 7-5. But that Tevin Farmer won that fight. Then when Tevin Farmer fought William Zepeda, it should have been a draw. He exposed him. Second time they fought, he hurt his hand and still did what he did. I mean, if y'all couldn't give him the victory, y'all should have gave it the draw. But we understand what y'all trying to build and do. But now, he calling out Schofield. I'm gonna be honest. Ted gonna knock Schofield out. My nephew-in-law gonna knock Schofield out. That's all I'm telling you. My nephew-in-law gonna knock him out. My nephew-in-law gonna knock Schofield out. Ted sleep with Schofield. I'm telling you. Williams and Peter gotta understand. Ted and Shakur fight different. You feel me? They two different fighters. Ted more like a sweet pea Mayweather type nigga. He's in there. He's rolling, bobbing, weaving. He's doing everything. Shakur, he's in and out. People. A lot of people say amateurs. No, it's called when you throwing a jab, you stepping in and you stepping back out. So he's not going to do lateral movement. You know what I mean, and we got to see. We gotta see, because anything can happen. You just can't say, "Oh, he did this to Tev. He ain't do shit to Tev. Tev exposed Williams Pay." But Williams to pay the punches can end up hurting Shakur. You feel me? We gotta see Shakur chin. Last time we heard about his chin, Tank knocked his tooth out. So ever since then, Shakur, he ain't trying to take a hit. That nigga in and out. He in and out like a robbery. He ain't trying to take a hit, and I don't blame him for that. What people gotta understand is, yo, we know Shakur's not knocking nobody out. We know what he like to box. I fully agree. But they scared of that boy. And Tito Mercado. I don't want to see Jair and Tito Mercado fight each other. I don't want to see that. I want to see them motherfuckers fight. Because them two more young fucking animals, they step into Shakur. They're stepping to Shakur. They're calling him out. They doing all of the disrespectful shit and everything. But they're not doing what Teofimo doing. That's one thing them boys not doing is what Teofimo doing. Because Teofimo doing it the KKK way. You understand me? Like, bro, we all homies, we all niggas at the end of the day, but we not Nick Herbs, the NR, bro. Like, Teo tripping with that. I mean, not like Teo as a fighter, but bro, like, I can't keep trying to support you, and you got good people supporting you, talking good shit about you, and you doing it. Bro, what the fuck is you doing? Like, you putting a white sheet on there. Now, when you come to certain hoods, we gonna punish you, bro. Because you did, you, man, you disrespectful. When that, like, he's a nigga too. Like, bro, we all the same people. Like, you disrespect us Puerto Ricans, you disrespect us black motherfuckers, and nigga, you the same just like us, but you disrespecting us in a racist way where people really gonna put their hands on you because bro, you big cat, nigga. You big cat. I mean, you top of the class at your graduation class, nigga. Got the biggest cap in the world. You got a Gillian Wallow cap on, big cap, nigga, because you doing too much. You doing way too much. You doing way too much, man. And that's the shit I'm disliking about this country. And that's the shit I'm disliking about this country. We ain't gonna keep supporting you, nigga. Like you fucking up your pay per view buys if you ever become a pay per view star. You fucking up putting asses in seats because of the corny shit you doing. So if I was some that nigga, he from Honduras, he better go start fighting in Honduras. It's the only people gonna come see you shit. Cause we ain't. Like, you disrespect yourself. You know, Bug got to fight up. But that's why I said, the earlier when I started, what Bug Crawford should do since Tio was over there with Eddie Reynoso and them, he's an orthodox fighter. Bring him in camp and torture him. Flame on. Torture him. Johnny Torch. You know what I mean? Torture that nigga. Flame on. Straight. You know what I mean? Real rap. Junior Whopper his ass. Big Whopper. Beat the dog shit out of Tio. Real rap. And sparring, nigga. I'm gonna give you what you want. And you put it on live and have niggas bet just to watch him get his ass beat. That's what you gotta do. That's what people gotta do. And the crazy thing is, why for real. So while you using him as Canelo, he using you as a sparring partner for Boots. Because when you're whooping his ass, he gonna be like, damn, this is what Boots gonna do to me. You know what I mean? So whoop his ass, bro. Call him in for sparring and whoop his ass. You know what I mean? Whoop that nigga ass for all of the 40 shit Top Rank did to you. Like I've always said, I've said to this day. Ball Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, even Teofimo Lopez, racist ass, Brandon Mortella, even my young dog Keyshawn. Like these guys should be pay-per-view stars, man. Should be pay-per-view stars. Easy. They be doing 100K easy. You know? Just like I said, even if they put Keyshawn and Edwin De Los Santos as a pay-per-view and they do 25K, that's good, man. When people be trying to hear outrageous numbers, you gotta remember there's a lot of streaming platforms out here that's doing crazy shit. So for Keyshawn and Edwin De Los Santos first pay per view doing 25, you know what I mean? Anything above 20, 25, that's good, man. Even if it hit 15K for the first time, that's still straight. You know what I mean? Still straight. 10K would be like a little bit above average, but it's good because it's their first time. You check the gate the first time, the gate did good. Like Boots right now should be a pay-per-view star. He did 3 gates so far. And he did amazing. But man, fuck 3 gates. The nigga did 4 gates because he had 2 fights at Atlantic City that sold out. He had 2 fights here in Philly that sold out to the capacity. You know what I mean? But the first day, he did over 1 million, 2 million. But you know what I mean, what he generated just putting asses in seats. I'm gonna be real. That'd be a good fight. But one thing about all right, hey, yo, I'm gonna give you my situation. Hey, low nose boxing. I got the motherfucking link inside the comments. I got the link in there. I'm gonna be real, right? I watch Keyshawn versus Wu. Namir Wu Albright, Namir Albright from Philadelphia, right? Which is an elite fighter. Ever since that fight, they never put Keyshawn back in there with elite fighters. Until now, which is Edwin De Los Santos. Because Barenchek, they only gave Barenchek the title at the time because Ukraine was going to war. When you watch the Nadarete fight, Nadarete beat the dog shit out of Barenchek. Know what I mean? But at that time, a week prior, Loma won the IBF against Kambosa. Then Barenchek won the title. Then 2 weeks after that, Usyk became undisputed. Know what I mean? So all of that shit was propaganda for the Ukrainians to win the title and then act like they went to war by putting on suits. That's my facts. That's what I'm steaming off of. But we're gonna find out about Keyshawn now. With another elite fighter. But one thing we know about Teofimo Lopez, every time we counted him out, he counted himself in and he pulled it off. Because the better your competition, the better you're gonna perform, or sometimes outperform the better competition that a lot of people think is better than you. But in that fight, I like both fighters. I like both fighters. It's going to be a knockout. Somebody gonna go to sleep. You know, somebody gonna go to sleep. And if it goes the distance, it's all about. They both top ranked fighters. So if it goes the distance, it depends where the fight's at. You know, um, that's a big ass fight. That's a pay-per-view fight. That's a pay-per-view fight. But top rank won't have it. That's why ESPN, man. First of all, ESPN ain't fucking with them because they know what they did between Bob Arum's stepson and I guess the Irish mob nigga. You know what I mean? The case they got in together. That's why ESPN saying fuck y'all niggas. And then another thing is, bro, we paid y'all all this money, but we trying to be on pay per view, nigga. You ain't hosting no pay per view. You got all of these pay per view fighters, and we ain't have a pay per view fight yet. That's why ESPN is like, nah, we ain't fuck about this situation. You know, so we got to see where. If I was Bob, I'd keep everything in the states, and work with PBC and get the fights that everybody wants. It ain't hitting. Let me try that shit again. Yeah, yeah. His head movement was great. I did. He had the best fight that night. Besides Rolly, Rolly pulled out the upset. I'm gonna be real. I thought if it went the distance, they was gonna rob Teofimo Lopez. But when I see the fight, I was like, all right, he throwing him. But Arnold Barboza was too big for him. You feel me? But Tio did him. He surprised a lot of people, but I knew he was gonna pull the victory off. I just thought it was gonna be by knockout. Just like I thought Jose Ramirez. I said Jose Ramirez don't knock Devin Haney out and it goes the distance, he's gonna lose, and which he did. Devin just ran the whole fight. Then with Ryan Garcia, I always told people, Rolly has Ryan number. Rolly got Ryan number. Ryan got Dev number. Shakur, Keyshawn, Tio, Floyd Schofield, Frank Martin, they all have each other number, and Tank have all of their numbers because they all was sparring. They all been to the doghouse. They all got it in from the amateurs, and they all been sparring each other. That's why a lot of this shit is so big, you know. And the only person that Before I had a phone call, put a phone call. You know what I mean? I put myself on this shit. I can't do that though. You know what I mean? This shit will fuck up my beeper shit. I mean, I've been mad at it for. But each his own, man. You know, like I always say Tank got their number. But with that Ryan and Rolly fight, I always knew Rolly had his number. Rolly got his number. Rolly told him, I know yourself better than you know yourself. And we seen Rolly keep that right hand up, something Devin Haney should learn. Because Devin Haney, all Devin Haney had to do was just stay in the pocket, kept that hand up, and just kept shooting the jab. To show y'all niggas like, bro, I'm back and better than ever. You know, and for Sugar Shane Mosley to go on Mill City Boxing, shout out to Mill City, shout out to Zab Judah, shout out Before Champions Podcast. You know, Sugar Shane, man, I don't know what the fuck you was talking about, but if you called Devin Haney the best welterweight, and he never had a fight at welterweight before this nut ass fight, that's crazy, you know. And yeah, yo, the reason I say about Teofimo going into Bud camp, Bud bringing in Teofimo to spar, because like you said, Teo head movement was better. So you know how Canelo like to move his head and certain shit. Teo can try to use that against Bud, but it's going to work for both fighters because Teo hopping in the ring. If he's going to fight Boots, he can use Bud as a sparring partner, and Bud can just use Teo just to beat the shit out of him for all the dumb shit and racist shit he's been saying, and use him for his little head movement and knock his head the fuck off. I think if I was Bud, that's what I'd do. Beat dog shit out that boy. Real rap, beat dog shit out that boy. Cause he doing too much. He doing way too much. He doing way too much. Tank on some he on some killer shit. We ain't been hearing from Tank. But I've been telling people I knew Shane ain't believe that shit himself. He just had to cover his ass because of the criticism he said to Dev before they met up and shit. Because I'm gonna keep it honest, man. Bill Haney should have played the backseat and let Nate Jones coach him. Real rap. Nate Jones would have looked at it a little better. That even though Nate Jones was there, but Nate Jones can't do too much because it's Bill say so. And when you listening to what Bill was telling Dev in the corner, like you like, what the fuck, bro? Shoot the jab. Tell him to shoot the jab. Don't tell him to move lateral. Tell that motherfucker to shoot the jab. Yeah, but it was shit.
Yo,
What up,
what up,
Nick?
man? What's good, boy? How everything going, man?
Chilling, chilling,
Chilling,
chilling.
chilling, chilling. Yeah, a lot of shit going on in boxing, man. A
Yeah.
lot of things going on, bro. Um, I see you talking that TO talk right now, and
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed right now. You know what I mean? Me personally, through every era, right? Because I'm old head. You know what I mean? I've been watching boxing since the '80s,
Yeah.
and as far as the 2020s, T.O. is my favorite fighter. you know. And I'm disappointed with his antics, things that he been saying, the
I
monkey talk, the watermelon, using the N word with the R and all that. Cause I didn't grow up like that. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up like that. I lived in Philly for years. I live in New York right now. So I grew up around blacks. I grew up around Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, even some white boys. And on top of that, I'm a Christian. I don't believe in that. We all children of God when it's all said and done. So I don't approve of what T.O. is doing as far as what he's saying. I can't defend it no more. I tried to defend it in the past, but it went too far. You know, I'm
Right?
still gonna root for him as a fighter. I hope he wins because at the end of the day, we rooted for Mike Tyson, right? And Mike Tyson did time for rape. You know, if R. Kelly come out of jail tomorrow and have a concert, people gonna go to that concert. So I'm still gonna root for T.O., but I'm just not feeling what he's saying. I'm not gonna agree with it. Like, I'm not one of them guys that's gonna say, yeah, he said liquor instead of
Yeah,
the N word with the R. You know what I mean?
I agree
So
with you.
you
You're right. You know, I like to feel like I always thought too I was gonna get right. It was a different story. Uh, I was just like he too much. Too much. It's
man, the
crazy.
audio's bad. I can hardly hear you, bro.
Crazy.
How my audio sound? Cause I can't hear you too good. I'm in the car right now. It sound like it's echoing.
I said, the Tio, the shit that is doing after he does that. It just be crazy. Like we damn well we know yeah. You don't hear no lick star.
Nah, he ain't say liquor, bro. I'm not gonna lie. There's people out there that's really like, yeah, he said liquor, and I'm not gonna do that, man. Listen, I
Yeah,
keep it a bean. I'm a fan. I'm a supporter. I'm not a fanboy. You know, it's just like if I know you and you're my friend and you do something out of pocket, I'm that friend that's gonna pull you up and tell you about it, even if I gotta tell you about it privately. Dog, you was out of pocket right there. I'm not gonna say it in cap. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna abandon and say I'm not gonna root for him no more. I ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? But um, besides that, what you think about the call out with Boots Ennis? Do you think it's legit or you think it's clout chasing?
I think it's legit. You know, anytime Tio call out somebody, you know, but it'll be a great fight. You know, we get to see somebody kids on Tio. Today, Tio step up and put on, you know, the call out's real. There's one thing know that we know about him. If he call you out, he gonna fight you. You know, he called out Loma, Josh Taylor. You know, Arnold called him out, so he just had to put the pause on Arnold and show him that it's really levels. You know, I'm just on a different level. But with Boots, it'll be a great fight. It's a great fight. It's a great fight for both fighters. You know, and it's a big fight. It's a big fight. If somebody saying it ain't a big fight, they just hating on both fighters because it's a big fight and a great fight for the sport of boxing. And Tio can make the weight because you heard what he said. He was 146. You know, he came in light at in the Barboza fight, so he can make what you call it easily. 147 easily and 146 to be perfect, but Boots just going to be too big for him, you know. But it's going to be a great fight, you know, because he can still put on. He can still come in at one like 152 or something. But it's a good fight for boxing, man. If people saying it's not, they just haters. I watch my guy. Yeah,
Yeah, you there?
yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I believe the call out's real. I have a little technical issue.
Yeah. Now that's that shit. Now, hey, Lo, when I hop on my man H John, what's going on with you? It happens to me too on my phone. I be talking to my man H. He be having me on this live interviewing me, and my shit just be going on and off sometimes with some corny stuff. But yeah, when you get a chance though, Low, go check my guy H Money out. H Money Boxing. He letting you cook on there too. Know what I mean? It's a family thing, man. We pushing this shit. We pushing to make real boxing great again, man. You know, and really get the real fights that we want. You know, we got a mob over there, man, of boxing fans. You know, you want mandatories over the bag. Mandatories over the bag, man. It's my guy, H Money. Mandatories over the bag, baby. You got a mandatory, baby. You got to fight that. You got to take that. They be some niggas taking the bags. They already know they got another fight lined up. But yes, mom, my guy H was talking about that like 2 days ago about Tio and Boots. You got a couple haters out there that's hating. That just was discussing their feelings. But my guy was breaking it down. That's a big fight, and I fully agree with him too. That's one of the biggest fights in boxing. Bud moving up. Why Tio can't do the same thing? He came in 146 versus Barbosa. Why he can't? It was only 7 pounds. That ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Pacquiao did it in 8 different weight classes. You know what I mean? You're a fighter. You're a boxer. You're supposed to move up. I know back then, in the 80s and 90s when we was watching fights, niggas was fighting in 8 weight class. They walk around weight. Majority of them boxers walk around weight was they weight classes. You know what I mean? Shout out to Rafael Espinosa. Yeah, he was. That's what I'm telling people. He was bigger than Canelo. But hey, yo, you know what I tell people? I say in the streets, when you fight a nigga in the streets, ain't no weight classes. Why the fuck that? Like, boxing is boxing, but at the end of the day, when we was growing up, like I said, these fighters walk around weight was they weight class, man. It's just now like Rafael Espinosa, you see that nigga like 6'7". That motherfucker fighting at 126. Bro, you taller than me, nigga. How the fuck you fighting at 126 and I'm 5'4"? I should be, nigga, I'm between 130, my walk around weight 135, no more than 140. You know what I mean? But really, like my shit between 126 and 130. It's like a fat nigga trying to buy my jeans. I'm 30-30. This motherfucker 40-42 trying to buy a pair of 30-30s in a small t-shirt. Come on. You know what I mean? These niggas cutting weight like the tight jean era. These niggas cutting weight like the tight jean era. Niggas be all dehydrated. Nah, nigga, that's the yeast infection, nigga. You ain't dehydrated, nigga. And I be hating that shit. You be watching niggas, right? Nigga come in, right? Campaign at 135, right? Nigga campaigning at 135. Got a couple fights at 135. Then you end up fighting Tank. Now, I got no rehydration. Hold, pimp. What body sanction you rank them? Don't they got a rehydration clause? All right, boxing, right? What state you in? Don't that state have a rehydration clause? So why is you making excuses? Boxing have a rehydration clause in general because there's certain weight classes and you gotta respect. That was a great fight. That was a cool fight. I'm gonna be real, man. Ever since that knockout with Cody ain't been the same. Ever since that knockout with Cody ain't been the same, man. I don't know what the fuck wrong with Cody. Feel me? I don't know what's wrong with Cody, but Cody ain't been the same. That boy ain't been the same after that situation. I got the fucking haircut, man. He ain't been the same. But yeah, baby, gotta do this cook-up album more often, y'all. I'm gonna learn more, hit my guy up, learn more about these links and how to share that shit. We gonna cook up, we gonna really show motherfuckers the truth, get this shit back pop. I went through a couple shadow bands. I'm still going through shadow band, but these lives should be, now I believe Hassan came in. You know what I'm saying? That they playing with his numbers and all of that. I do fully agree with him. Failed my monetization, they do with all that shit, but it is what it is. We're just trying to tell people the truth and just show them that, the grass ain't green on the other side. When people create narratives and you run with a person narrative and you see the same shit they see and you like, dang. You know what I mean? You see the same shit they see. We just watched Devin Haney fight. We just watch him run. The Haney Maniacs, them motherfuckers would tell you, he put on the best boxing performance ever. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But to each his own. To each his own, man. But this Canelo Bud fight is gonna be different. Yes, Canelo fought. We don't know how hard Bud punched. I mean, like Canelo fought Triple G. No, to me, I thought James Kirkland was the hardest nigga. The hardest hitting nigga he fought. James Kirkland was knocking niggas out, but at the end of the day, Ian Wolf wasn't on his side. Um, uh, 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 um, Tomorrow, Erison Lubin fight, and my two young boys too. Najee Lopez, monster, but Blasphile Saint. Hey yo, Blad. Well, tomorrow is on Pro Box TV. It's going to on YouTube. Kids, yeah. Go watch Blasphile Saint and Najee Lopez on the undercard of Erison Lubin. Know what I mean? I'm gonna get up out of here. Put the phone on the charge. I'll be back later. Get at y'all, yo, low nose boxing, my man H. Be back later, man. We gonna get it.